A very warm good morning to all dear students. I hope you all are fine. I am Mrs. Richa Nagpal, your science teacher. Welcome to your science class. See बेटे, today we are going to discuss the important part from chapter number 2, that will be nutrition in human beings. These are the 5 major steps that we will discuss in nutrition in human beings. These are the same steps as we have discussed in amoeba as well as in ruminants. So now is the turn for human beings. Now I will show you the following steps by using diagrams. We will discuss nutrition in animals. The process of nutrition in human beings is called digestion, and it consists of specialized organs called digestive system. It consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands and starts from mouth to anus. Now, mouth is the first part of alimentary canal to take the food inside the body, and it is called ingestion. When food enters into the mouth, a complex food is crushed with the help of teeth and muscular tongue into small particles with the help of saliva. When food enters into the mouth, it is crushed with the help of teeth. Saliva secretes salivary glands into buccal cavity, which forms bolus with the help of saliva. Here, salivary amylase broken down starch into sugar. Now, what happens to the partially digested food? It enters into the digestive canal and it helps to push the food forward by the peristalsis movement. Now, the food enters from mouth into stomach through the food pipe or esophagus. Now, stomach expands when the food enters into it, and the muscular walls of stomach help in mixing food with digestive juices or enzymes. Now, gastric glands present in the walls of stomach, that is HCl, mucus and pepsin. Whereas HCl means hydrochloric acid. Now, what is the function of mucus? To protect the inner lining of the stomach from acid. And HCl creates an acidic medium which activates the pepsin. Now, the exit of food from the stomach is regulated by sphincter muscles, which releases a small amount of food into the small intestine and is the largest part. The digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats occur in small intestine. Fats are large globules, so it is very difficult to break down. Hence, bile juice secretes from liver. It consists of bile salts, which is there to break down the fat molecules. And pancreatic juice secretes pancreas, which contains enzyme trypsin. Proteins are break down with the help of trypsin into fatty acids and glycerol. Now, proteins are broken down into amino acids, carbohydrates to glucose, fats to fatty acids and glycerol. Now in stomach, it is acidic, so HCl to neutralize it with the help of pancreatic enzyme. Now the digested food is absorbed by the walls of intestine. And here you can see the inner layer of small intestine contains finger-like projections or hair-like projections called villi, which increases the surface area of absorption. Now, these are richly supplied with blood vessels and absorbed food to each and every part of the blood. The absorbed food is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and repair of old ones. Now, what about large intestine? The unabsorbed food is sent to large intestine and it also contains villi which absorb water and unabsorbed food. The remaining unabsorbed material in the form of feces is removed from the body through anus and controlled by anal sphincter. See, let us start nutrition in human beings. See, the human beings has 4 stages to food processing: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Here in this part assimilation is not there, but after absorption there is assimilation and then egestion. These are the 5 major steps. Here 4 we will describe because in absorption assimilation is included. Now we will start the digestion in human beings. We have to take in food through the mouth. We are going to digest it and then we are utilizing it. The undigested parts of the food are expelled from the body. So the food passes through a long muscular canal that is called alimentary canal or digestive tract, and it is beginning at buccal cavity and ends at anus. I will show you in the last a brief summary of clipping of this digestion in humans. But before that you need to take care that alimentary canal consists of buccal cavity, or we can say oral cavity. Then we have esophagus with us, then stomach, small intestine, large intestine and anus. Now the first part that we are going to start with is ingestion. That will be through mouth. So the process of taking food into the body is called ingestion, and the human beings have mouth for the ingestion of food, and the food is taken into the body through the mouth with the help of hands. Now we will start with the buccal cavity and we will discuss in mouth what happens. So from the mouth the food goes into buccal cavity or oral cavity, and the buccal cavity contains teeth, tongue and saliva. Salivary glands secrete saliva. So let us study in detail. Now we will discuss first about teeth. Okay, you can see here the 4 types of teeth. What is the function of teeth? Teeth break the food into small pieces, chew and grind it. Chewing and mixing of small pieces of food with saliva is called mastication. And this digestion of food inside the buccal cavity is called mechanical digestion, because this teeth is continuously working for making the food particles so small. So each tooth socket is a separate socket in the gums, and white and hardest substance which covers the teeth is called enamel. So our teeth are of different shapes and carry out different functions. So starting with incisors, canines, premolars and molars. First of all we'll discuss about incisors. These are 4 flat and blade-like structure in front part of each jaw. These teeth are used to bite and cut the food into small pieces. Next is canines. These are tearing teeth. So incisors are 4 in number and they are flat and blade-like teeth which is present in front part of the jaw. And these teeth are used to bite and cut the food into small pieces. Next one is canines. These are known as tearing teeth, and these are present on either side of the incisors. They are 2 in number in each jaw. So these are sharp and pointed teeth which helps in tearing the food. After that we have premolars. These are grinding teeth. These are 2 next to each canine, 4 in number in each jaw. These have broad and flat grinding surfaces, and they grind the food and break it into small pieces. After that, we have molars. They are grinding teeth. The remaining teeth in the jaw are 3 molars on either side of the premolars, 6 in number in each jaw. And these teeth also have a broad and flat grinding surfaces. These teeth are also used to crush and grind the food. Now we will discuss about the temporary and permanent teeth. In human beings, the teeth grows twice. So the temporary set of teeth grows when the child is in age group of 6 months to 8 years, and these are known as milk teeth. These teeth are smaller and weaker. These are 20 in number, 10 in the upper jaw and 10 in the lower jaw. The second set of teeth is called permanent teeth. These teeth remain till old age, and permanent teeth cannot be replaced by a new natural teeth. So these are 32 in number, 16 in the upper jaw, 4 incisors, 2 canines, 4 premolars and 6 molars. So they are total 16 in number. Now next is about tongue. What is tongue? It is not only one muscle, but it is a fleshy muscular organ which is attached to the back or to the floor of the buccal cavity, means mouth cavity. It is attached to the floor of the mouth cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. Now we have to discuss that what are the functions which is being discussed by the tongue. It helps in mixing saliva with food. It helps in pushing and thus swallowing the food into food pipe. It helps in getting different taste of the food. We have basically 4 different tastes: salt, sour, bitter and sweet. One more taste that has been recently discovered, it is severe taste, means sweet and sour both. It enables us to speak, and taste may be described by the association with a particular food. Now salivary glands. The salivary glands produces saliva that contains an enzyme, salivary amylase. What is the function of this enzyme? It breaks down starch present in the food into sugars, and saliva makes the food wet and slimy so that it can be easily swallowed. So this is about the salivary glands. Now the next part is pharynx and esophagus. Now what happens? The chewed food is pushed into a long and narrow muscular tube that is called the food pipe or esophagus through another short muscular tube called pharynx. When the slightly digested food enters the food pipe, the wall of the esophagus starts contracting and expanding like it is shown in the figure. And this, the pushing down of food by the walls of the esophagus, it is in a wave-like action and it is called peristalsis. Next part is stomach. See, you can see this stomach. It is a J-shaped organ and food goes to the stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped organ. It is thick-walled organ present on the left side of the abdomen, and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. And the inner wall of the stomach contains gastric glands, and these glands secrete gastric or digestive juices, which contain 3 substances. First is hydrochloric acid, second one is pepsin, and the third one is mucus. So what is the function of hydrochloric acid? It kills many harmful bacteria that enters with the food. It makes the medium in the stomach acidic, which enhances the action of digestive enzymes. Second is mucus. The function of mucus is to protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of enzymes and hydrochloric acid. Third one is the enzyme or the pepsin digests the proteins in the food to form simple soluble substances called peptones. So proteins are converted into peptones with the help of pepsin. So this is what consequently the food gets converted into partially digested food, that is chyme. This leaves the stomach and enters the small intestine. Now what happens in the small intestine? That is very important. This small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. The name is small intestine, but it is the longest part of the alimentary canal. The name smallest is because of its diameter, not of its length. It's about 7.5 meter long and it is arranged in the form of a coil. And the small intestine receives secretions from two glands. We will discuss here about liver and pancreas. Okay, so the wall of the small intestine also secretes intestinal juices. Now we will discuss it. Here the partially digested food get mixed with pancreatic juice, bile juice and intestinal juice, and the process of digestion completes in the small intestine. So this is the last part where the digestion will be completed. So now first starting with liver. So liver, it is the figure of a liver, diagram of a liver, and it is a reddish brown gland and its location is the upper part of the abdomen on the right side, and it is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice which is stored in a sac-like structure called gallbladder. See, these two questions are very important. It can come in your exam also, that where the bile juice is secreted. It is secreted by liver, and which organ stores it? It will be the gallbladder. So bile juice helps in the digestion of fats. Fats are present as a big droplets because of which they cannot be digested easily. So bile juice breaks these big droplets into small droplets and make their digestion and absorption easier. So next one is pancreas. It also secretes pancreatic juice and it is a large cream colored gland. It is just below the stomach and its function is to release pancreatic juice into the intestine. And this pancreatic juice is acting on carbohydrates and proteins and change them into simpler forms in which it can be absorbed by the body. So bile contains bile acids which are critical for digestion and absorption of fats. Basically emulsification of fats takes place. Next is intestinal juice. See, the partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. Digestion, which starts in the mouth, is completed in the small intestine, and the enzyme in the intestinal juice act upon the partially digested food and convert it into simple substances. Can you tell me in which simple substances they just break down? The carbohydrates get broken into glucose, the fats get broken into fatty acids and glycerol, the proteins get broken into amino acids. So these are the part where their breakdown takes place. Now the minerals and vitamins present in the food do not need to be changed. Cells are able to absorb themselves as it is in which they are present. Now what about absorption? The process of absorption occur in small intestine. Okay. The inner wall of the small intestine has millions of finger-like projections called villi, and this has a network of thin and small blood vessels called capillaries close to the surface. These give the inner walls of the small intestine a very large surface area to absorb the digested food, and the surface of these villi absorb the digested food material and passes them to the fine blood capillaries. Here this food is utilized by the cells to release energy. Here the assimilation also takes place. Assimilation of food means blood carries the absorbed food from the small intestine to different organs of the body, where it is used to build complex substances such as proteins, which is required for the growth, repair of the body tissues. And this is the final stage in the process of digestion and is known as assimilation. Here in the cells, glucose break down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released, whereas amino acids are used for building and repairing of body parts such as worn out cells and tissues, and later on fatty acids and glycerol act as energy reserves and are stored under the skin for further use. Now the last part is digestion. See, the food that remains undigested in the body, it is unabsorbed, passes from the small intestine into the large intestine, which is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length and it has two parts, colon and rectum. So here colon absorbs water and some minerals, some salts from the undigested food. Due to this, the undigested food becomes dry and almost semi-solid. This is known as feces and is stored in the rectum. Then these feces is passed out from the body through anus. This process is called digestion. So with this, the digestive system, in fact the complete nutrition in human beings is completed. Thank you all of you.